This is Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related, and here we are to talk about the June Stadia Pro game lineup because it's pretty insane. So in case you haven't heard, 5 games will be entering the Stadia Pro game library starting June 1st, and a 6th game will be making its way halfway through the month. The first 5 that are coming will be Get Packed, Panzer Dragoon, Little Nightmares, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and Super Hot. Following that, on June 16th, The Elder Scrolls Online will be coming to Stadia and will also be a Stadia Pro title. Now, normally I'd break down these games for you in this video, but I kinda feel like doing something a little different today. Instead of just explaining the games to you, I'd rather create a bit of a discussion on the actual impact here. And I say impact because I have to admit, it kinda surprised me to see that Google's adding 5 games to the lineup without taking any away. Not to mention the 6th game being added later being such a big title like The Elder Scrolls Online is a huge bonus. First things first, I have to admit I'm extremely happy to see Google doing this initiative, especially on this month, since it's gonna be the last month for the newest users who signed up for that 2 free months of Stadia Pro. This is a super enticing offer, and it seems to be working, as I've read already quite a few free trial users stating that they'll continue their subscription due to the increased amount of games available. I mean, let's think about it from their perspective for just a second. You're a new pro trial user, you've just heard about Stadia and you want to see what it's all about. Well, if it turns out that it works well enough for you and you enjoy the gameplay experience it offers, then within those 2 free months, you already own quite a sizable library, 17 games in all. The best part is, not all of these games are $10 to $20 indie games, there are some real heavy hitters in between. I'm talking games like Grid, Destiny 2 The Collection, The Elder Scrolls Online. These are all games you can spend tens if not hundreds of hours playing. The value proposition of Stadia Pro is looking really good right now because of that. Where else are you going to be able to pay $10 and have instant access to 17 titles without any upfront cost of dedicated hardware? Now, speaking as a Stadia user who's been a Pro subscriber from the very start, I'm more than happy to continue paying for my Stadia Pro subscription because I'm very satisfied with what I've been given so far. This may not be true for everyone, and if so, fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and that's fair. But it's really hard to argue against the fact that Stadia Pro is a really good value proposition right now. But value's one thing. Next, I want to talk about the potential future of this Stadia Pro library. When we got early confirmation that Little Nightmares and The Elder Scrolls Online would be Stadia Pro games for June, I kind of figured that would be all we got. But then Google decided to throw in 4 more, and I don't want to understate the fact that 5 of these 6 games are launching on Stadia as Stadia Pro titles. This Stadia Pro subscription is starting to look more and more like Xbox Gamepass than just your typical Xbox games with gold. Let's talk about the numbers for a second. On June 1st, there will be a total of 54 games available on the Google Stadia platform as a whole. That same day, any Stadia Pro subscriber has access to at least 16 of those 54 games. That's about 30% of the overall library available on Stadia right now. That's an extremely sizable chunk for any service of this kind to be giving through its subscription model. Personally speaking, I'm kinda hoping it's a sign of things to come and they keep adding to these 17 games and expanding the pool while only taking a few away every now and then. After all, this would be the perfect time to start setting this up. We know Microsoft's xCloud will be a part of the Xbox Game Pass subscription. This is a fact that most people bring up when comparing both services despite the latter not even launching yet. And while I don't think Google can keep up with the 200 plus games that Game Pass currently offers, it can compete when it comes to quality of service. Google Stadia by far outperforms xCloud in terms of actual gameplay latency as well as visual fidelity. And while the latency part may not be true across the board since it's heavily dependent on how far you live from a server, the visual fidelity part certainly does. At the point of this video, Project xCloud still only streams at 720p, and that may be fine for a small mobile screen. It does not do well enough for a monitor or a TV. And while we do know that 1080p streaming is coming to Project xCloud somewhat soon, that's still quite a ways away from the 4K streaming Stadia can provide. And for those of you out there who are thinking it doesn't matter because you only have a 1080p display, do yourself a favor and go download the Stadia Plus extension and force the Stadia instance to stream to you at 4K. It's a night and day difference despite not having a full-on 4K display, and that's simply because the bitrate of the stream you're being sent is much higher. I'm really hoping that Google ends up implementing a way to do this directly from Stadia without having to need any extensions, because the difference is very significant. But I'm getting off topic now. The point I'm trying to make is that Stadia Pro is starting to look more like a Gamepass subscription than it is your typical 2 free games a month. And while it can be argued that this may just be a move to retain those free Stadia Pro trial users, I'm starting to think it may be otherwise. It'll be super interesting to see what the Stadia Pro lineup looks like in July. But tell me what you think. Do you think I'm crazy here, or can you see Stadia starting to be more like Game Pass in terms of the Stadia Pro subscription? I look forward to reading your replies in the comments section below. Now, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video message is just going to be a quick survey. What Stadia Pro game are you looking forward to the most in the June lineup? For myself, it has to be The Elder Scrolls Online. It's a game I've always wanted to try out but never really got around to. I think Stadia is the perfect home for an MMO, and this looks like a very exciting one. As always, thank you for watching this video. This has been Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related. The Gen S community is over 4,100 strong and growing by the day, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.